Weapons continues to dominate the box office in its second weekend, plus find out how Nobody 2 opened. Thanks for joining me as I break down this weekend's box office winners. Now before we get started, please make sure to like and subscribe so you always know which movies are killing it at the box office. Now let's get into the numbers. Weapons had an incredible hold for a horror flick, dropping only 43% in its second weekend. However, its second weekend drop is not in the same league as previous horror mega hits Get Out and Sinners, as Get Out only dropped 15% in its second weekend, and Sinners had a spectacular 5% drop, which is just unheard of. Still, Weapons dropping under 50% is remarkable, and this original horror movie has one of the best second weekend drops for a horror movie compared to other horror IPs that released this year. Like Final Destination Bloodlines dropped 63% in its second weekend, and 28 years later dropped 68% in weekend 2. Weapons also continues its run in premium screens and IMAX, as it's now made $10.5 million on premium screens in the United States. Once more showcasing how premium screens like Dolby and IMAX are so important to a film's success. Now we'll get back to talking about Weapons' global cume as of date. Meanwhile, let's dive into this weekend's newcomer, Nobody 2, which it seems nobody was quite interested in. The film opened with $9.25 million in the United States, despite having good reviews for an action flick. The film scored a B+ cinema score, which is good, but not as great as its predecessor's A- cinema score. It also received 4 stars and a 62% definite recommend on Post-Track, which once more is good but not great. Now, who showed up? Well, 40% of the audience were 45+, so the film skewed older and male, as 68% of the total audience was male. The film also skewed mostly white, with 52% of the audience being Caucasian, 21% Hispanic and Latino, 12% Black, and 8% Asian American. It's not great demos, and hopefully if a third film happens, the film gets more diverse on screen. Now, when comparing this film to its predecessor, Nobody opened to $6.8 million in 2021, and now its sequel opened to $9.2 million, which is not much of an improvement, especially considering we were back in COVID days in 2021. Now, let's take a look at the overall top 10. At number 1 was Weapons, which held onto the number 1 spot in weekend 2, dropping only 43%. The film's domestic cume is now $84 million, for a global cume of $148.8 million. The film will likely pass $150 million stateside, and hopefully its legs leg out to $300 million globally, which once more would be incredible for a film that only cost $38 million. In second place was Disney's Freakier Friday, which also had a great second weekend drop, dropping only 49%. The film now has made $54.8 million in the United States, and allied to its international cume, it's now made $86.3 million globally. The film will definitely pass $100 million stateside, and may end its run about $200 million globally. Third place went to newcomer Nobody 2, which as mentioned made about $9 million in its debut. The film worldwide opened to $14.1 million, which is not great for a film that cost $25 million, but still the film is likely to earn a profit in theaters. In fourth place was Fantastic Four: First Steps, which did see its legs improve in week 4, as it had a drop under 50%, dropping only 44%. The film did lose some theaters due to new arrivals, and other films like Weapons gaining theaters. But still, the film made $8.8 million and has made $247 million in the States, and globally it's at about $468.7 million. The film is looking to pass $500 million worldwide, but it won't get much farther than that. It's not great for Marvel, but still, it's the MCU's biggest movie of the year. In fifth place was The Bad Guys 2, down an impressive 38% in week 3, making another $7.5 million. It has made about $57 million domestically, and worldwide it's at about $117 million. The film is not looking to surpass the first film's global cume of about $250 million, but there's still hope that the film is able to surpass $200 million globally to not look like a disappointment. The film is also heading to digital on August 19, just 18 days after releasing in theaters. But with animated films, they still do well in theaters even though they're available on digital, so let's see how the film continues to do. Superman came in 6th place, making another $5.2 million in its 6th weekend. Its domestic total is $340 million, and it's at $594 million globally. The film will hit $600 million next weekend, and should end its run at about $620 million. Now this film is now on digital, where it's killing it as it's currently number 1 on digital, where it's available to rent or purchase. Now this hasn't affected its legs theatrically, so let's see how it continues to hold during the week. 7th place, The Naked Gun added $4.8 million domestically for a $41.9 million domestic total, and worldwide it's at $61.9 million. 8th place, Jurassic World Rebirth dropped another 40% in its 7th weekend to 2.9 million. Its legs were a bit hurt from going to digital, but domestically it's at 332 million and has made 828 million worldwide, which is not the best for Jurassic films, but it's respectable. 9th place F1 made another 2.66 million in its 8th weekend, dropping a healthy 9% due to the film being added to more IMAX screens this weekend. It's made 182 million domestically, and it's at 590 million worldwide. Lastly, in 10th place was Coolie, which opened with 2.45 million in about just 800 theaters, which is just great for Indian films at the US box office. Also, I wanted to say that Sydney Sweeney's Americana also released in theaters this weekend and flopped as it came in 16th place, making just $500,000. This makes it one of the lowest debuts ever for a film releasing over 1,000 theaters, and may be due to Sweeney's recent controversies regarding her American Eagle ad. And that's your box office recap for this weekend, with Weapons and Freakier Friday leading the charge for a second weekend in a row. Let me know in the comments what movie or if any you saw in theaters this weekend, and remember to like and subscribe so you don't miss next weekend's box office winners, where we'll see the arrival of Ne Zha 2 in US theaters. And as always, keep watching.